Welcome to this deep dive, where we take your insights and sources and distill them into essential knowledge. Today, we're unpacking a topic that's both exciting and really crucial: how to master English grammar. Not through, rote memorization, but through natural, intuitive absorption.
Yeah, it's easy to view grammar as just a set of rigid rules, almost like a barrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we've seen across your shared sources is that it's far more like an intuitive art, a subtle code that, once you understand it, truly transforms your ability to connect and express yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into how to unlock that today.
Absolutely. We've compiled a really fascinating collection of strategies, real-world examples, and some crucial mindset shifts. These come straight from the material you provided. Our mission here is to help you absorb English grammar with genuine confidence. Whether you're, crafting a high-stakes email, jumping into an online debate, or maybe preparing for a big presentation, many of us tend to perceive grammar as this kind of formidable gatekeeper to fluency. But here's what your sources revealed that's truly, well, thought-provoking. Grammar isn't just about being correct. It's the fundamental backbone of what's called predictive empathy in communication.
Predictive empathy, I like that.
Yeah, it's not just about getting your message out there. It's about anticipating how your words will land, making sure your message cannot be misunderstood. It creates this sort of subconscious connection with your listener.
Exactly. It's all about being understood with clarity and confidence, letting your true intention shine through. Think of it like the subtle rhythm holding your favorite song together.
Mm-hmm.
It just allows the melody to flow effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty is, you don't need to memorize every single rule like it's a textbook. It's more about natural acquisition, kind of mirroring how children pick up their first language, through listening, playing, experimenting, building that grammatical intuition.
Okay, so if we're aiming for this natural absorption, what are the cornerstone strategies? Let's unpack 5 core approaches highlighted in your sources for mastering grammar, well, organically. First up, let's talk immersion. Thinking of English less as a subject, maybe more like your favorite playlist, just on repeat. What did your sources suggest is the most effective way to just surround ourselves with the language, so our brains instinctively pick up those patterns?
Yeah, the emphasis here consistently was on making it genuinely enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you force yourself through, dry content, you just won't absorb much. So if you love movies, binge watch shows like Friends or Stranger Things, use the English subtitles, and notice the contractions I'm instead of I am, or how questions are naturally phrased. If you're into gaming, tune into Twitch streams. The language there is so dynamic and real. Foodies can explore YouTube channels like Tasty or Binging with Babish.
So it's about finding your niche.
Exactly. And the pro tip that came up a lot was using subtitles not just for comprehension, but to visually link the spoken words to their written form. Then, pause, repeat catchy phrases like, I can't believe this. Really get them into your head, internalize those structures.
That makes perfect sense, turning passive consumption into something active. Which brings us nicely to our second strategy, reading. It sounds obvious, perhaps, but what makes reading such a grammar goldmine? And how can we really leverage it for natural grammar mastery?
Well, reading is where you encounter grammar in its natural habitat, you could say. Books, blogs, online articles, even, short social media posts, they're all brimming with authentic sentence structures, punctuation, used exactly as they're intended.
So it's not just what you read, but how you read it. Is that right? What kind of content really helps, and how should listeners approach it?
Precisely. Start with content that genuinely engages you. Young adult novels came up often, like Harry Potter or The Fault in Our Stars. Accessible yet rich language.
Okay.
Or dive into sports blogs on ESPN, tech articles on Wired, follow engaging accounts on social media, maybe linguistics experts breaking down grammar and digestible posts. The key is really reading for pleasure, not perfection.
Right. Don't turn it into a chore.
Exactly. While you're enjoying it, subconsciously you'll start noticing the flow of sentences, how words work together like, she couldn't have known about the party. A powerful exercise highlighted was this. Find 3 well-constructed sentences in something short, maybe an article. Copy them down. Then challenge yourself to write your own sentences using that exact same structure.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so he was too tired to argue might become she was too excited to sleep. It's all about recognizing those patterns.
That's a really clever way to internalize structures without drilling rules. Okay, moving to our third strategy. This one's all about imitation. When you hear a phrase that just sounds perfectly natural, how can we effectively steal it, so to speak, and make it our own?
This is where you become a bit of a language detective. So if you hear something like, I wish I'd known about this sooner, maybe in a podcast like The Moth or a YouTube video,
Mm-hmm.
actively try applying that I wish I'd structure to your own life, your own sentences, like, I wish I'd tried sushi earlier, or I wish I'd remembered my umbrella. The sources really emphasize active application.
So not just hearing it, but using it.
Exactly. And a really practical tip was to record yourself saying these phrases. Use your phone's voice memo app, then compare your grammar, your pronunciation against the original. It gives you that instant kind of objective feedback.
That feedback loop sounds crucial. Okay, strategy number 4, writing. Writing often feels high stakes, doesn't it? But how can we use it as more of a low-pressure practice ground, almost like just chatting with a friend?
Yeah, writing offers this incredible sort of reflective space to experiment. Whether it's quick emails, personal journal entries, or even just short updates online. The goal initially is just to let the words flow without that immediate self-correction kicking in.
Get it down first, polish later.
Exactly. Try writing a short paragraph about your day. Today was crazy, I overslept, spilled tea on my shirt, and still made it to class on time. Something like that. Then, crucially, read it aloud. Does it sound like you? Tweak it until it captures your natural voice.
And tools can help here.
Oh, absolutely. Tools like Grammarly or Pro Writing Aid are fantastic. Not just for flagging mistakes, though they do that well, but they often explain the concepts, like the difference between your and your, right there in context. Many learners find huge value in starting a personal journal or just regularly posting short, fun prompts online.
Okay, and finally, our 5th core strategy. This isn't just a tip, you said. It's a crucial mindset shift. Embracing mistakes. Now, for many, errors feel like failures, setbacks, but your sources suggest they're actually a kind of superpower. Can you explain that?
Yeah, this is perhaps the most liberating insight from the sources. Even fluent native speakers make errors all the time. Think about hearing, I seen that movie, instead of I've seen. It happens.
True.
Mistakes are simply invaluable clues.
Yep.
Little red flags telling you exactly where there's a gap in your understanding, or maybe a habit that needs adjusting. So instead of fearing them, you treat each mistake as a kind of mini-teacher.
A mini teacher. I like that.
Yeah. A highly effective technique mentioned was keeping a mistake journal. Just note down maybe your top 3 recurring errors. Then actively practice the correct version. Maybe write 5 different sentences using it correctly every day for a week. It's about targeted, low-stakes self-correction. It's definitely not about achieving instant perfection.
Okay, that makes sense. Shifting from fear to feedback. So building on those foundational strategies, let's talk about navigating some of those persistent grammar traps. Those subtle pitfalls that, let's be honest, even advanced English speakers can occasionally stumble over. We're not just talking basic rules here, but why these specific errors trip us up, and more importantly, how to effectively sidestep them.
That's a really crucial distinction, isn't it? Often for advanced learners, it's not really a knowledge gap. It's more like a processing error under cognitive load, especially when you're speaking or writing in real time.
Right, like your brain knows the rule, but your mouth or fingers slip up.
Exactly. So one pervasive trap is subject-verb agreement. We all know singular subjects need singular verbs, plural need plural, basic stuff. But where do learners really stumble? Often it's with collective nouns. Is it the team is winning or the team are winning? It is in AP, often are in BRE, adding another layer.
Good point. Context matters.
It does. Or when the subject is separated from the verb by a really long phrase. The trick isn't just reciting the rule. It's identifying the true subject, not just the closest noun. Reading your sentence aloud still helps catch awkwardness like, he walked fast, definitely. But a deeper strategy is to mentally strip away all the descriptive stuff between the subject and verb. Find that core pair.
Okay. Isolate the core. Makes sense. What's next?
Next up, misplaced modifiers. These are those descriptive words or phrases that accidentally latch onto the wrong thing, leading to some potentially hilarious confusion.
Like the classic, I saw a dog running down the street with a fluffy tail.
Exactly. Makes it sound like the street has the tail. The error here usually isn't a lack of knowledge about modifiers. It's a momentary lapse in sentence construction. The key is to relentlessly check. Is my descriptive phrase immediately next to the noun it's actually describing? Ask yourself, wait, what really has the fluffy tail here?
Constant vigilance.
Okay.
What else?
Then there's comma chaos. We all know the let's eat grandma versus let's eat grandma example. Life-saving comma. But advanced learners often struggle with commas, not because they don't know they signal pauses, but because they're unsure of their sort of rhetorical effect. Or maybe when they're truly necessary for clarity versus just optional pauses. Commas can subtly shift meaning or emphasis. Consider the difference. My brother, who lives in London, is a doctor.
Okay, that implies you only have one brother,
Right, versus my brother who lives in London is a doctor.
which suggests you have other brothers, but this specific one lives in London.
Exactly. So the distinction isn't just about where you naturally breathe. It's about identifying non-essential information, the bit between the commas, and understanding the rhetorical intent.
That's a much more nuanced way to think about commas. Okay, and the classic pair.
Ah, yes, the infamous pairs. It's Garanicence and your versus your. Now, for advanced learners, this usually isn't about not knowing the difference.
Yeah.
It's everity is possessive. It means it is or it has. Your is possessive. Your means you are.
So why do we still mix them up?
It's often a muscle memory thing or just a quick processing error when typing fast or speaking under pressure. The sources highlight that the most effective way to combat this, beyond the simple replace with it is you are test, is to maybe identify if you personally have specific contexts where you tend to make this error, like when you're tired or stressed.
Self-awareness of error patterns.
Exactly. And then use tools like Grammarly or even just ask a friend to proofread critical things. Use them as a safety net, specifically for these persistent little slips. It's about conscious awareness of your own common error patterns.
Those insights into why we trip up, not just that we trip up, are incredibly valuable. Okay, so if you're feeling pretty confident in those areas, let's really take it up a notch. What did the sources reveal about truly advanced hacks? Ways to deepen your grammar mastery that go beyond the sort of traditional approaches?
Right, this is where we shift from just identifying and fixing errors to actively shaping your language, becoming more intentional.
Okay, intrigued. What's the first hack?
First, learn by teaching. This came up repeatedly. Actually explaining a grammar rule to someone else, even if it's just talking to yourself in the mirror, or recording a short video explaining, say, who versus whom. It forces you to organize your thoughts, articulate the concept clearly. You have to truly understand it to explain it. As one source aptly put it, if you can teach it, you own it.
Makes sense. Solidifies your own understanding. What's second?
Second, analyze creative texts. This is about dissecting grammar not just for correctness, but for stylistic effect. Pick a song lyric you like, a line from a poem, maybe a powerful speech. Don't just understand its meaning, but dissect its grammar. Why did the writer choose that structure? For example, Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. That line, I'm that bad type. Notice the casual, confident vibe.
Yeah, it's very direct.
Exactly. Why does that structure feel so natural and impactful there? Then try writing your own sentences with that same kind of rhythm or construction. I'm that chill type, or she's that fearless kind. It's about understanding the artistry of grammar, not just the mechanics.
Ooh, playing with style. I like that. Third hack.
Third, experiment with sentence structure. This is fun. Take a really simple sentence like, I love coffee. Now, challenge yourself to make it more elaborate, more nuanced, while keeping the core meaning. Maybe coffee with its bold aroma is my daily obsession.
Okay.
Or my mornings are incomplete without the rich, dark comfort of coffee. Try writing like 5 different versions of one simple sentence, each using a different structure. You could even share your favorite on an online forum, get some feedback, see how different structures land with people.
That sounds like a great exercise for flexibility. And the last advanced hack.
And finally, master tricky tenses. This is about focused practice. Instead of trying to grasp all 12 tenses at once, which is overwhelming, focus intensely on one specific tense at a time, especially those that native speakers use intuitively but are often challenging for learners, like the present perfect I've just finished.
Yeah, that one can be tricky.
Right. So spend a week really focusing on it. Describe recent actions using only that tense. I have just eaten lunch, she has just called. Or watch a movie scene and then describe what's happened using only the present perfect. This kind of focused practice builds true fluency and confidence in those specific complex areas.
Okay, those are some powerful advanced techniques. Now, building on those hacks, your sources also highlighted a suite of, well, advanced strategies that add a distinctly creative and maybe collaborative twist to the grammar journey. These really seem to move beyond the textbook approach.
Absolutely. These are much more about embedding grammar practice into activities that are actually engaging and meaningful.
Okay, let's hear them. Strategy 1.
Strategy 1. Story-driven grammar practice. Love this one. Instead of doing dry grammar drills, create mini stories in English. But design the story so it compels you to use specific grammar structures you want to practice.
So the story requires the grammar.
Exactly. Say you want to master the past perfect tense. Write a short story about a chaotic morning. I had overslept, then I realized I had missed my bus, and I had forgotten my phone before I even left the house.
Hmm.
See? The narrative naturally pulls those structures out of you, or challenge yourself. Write a 100-word story about a missed opportunity using conditionals. If I had known, I would have gone. And maybe share it online, get feedback.
That sounds much more engaging than filling blanks. Okay, strategy 2.
Strategy 2, grammar. Through roleplay. This is great for applying grammar in context. Pretend you're a specific character in a scenario. This forces you to adapt your grammar naturally. Imagine you're a travel vlogger describing your trip. So I've been exploring Paris all week, and I've just seen the Eiffel Tower. It's amazing. If I could stay longer, I'd definitely visit every single cafe.
Right, you naturally use present perfect, conditionals, contractions.
Exactly. It all comes out organically because of the role you're playing.
Uh-huh.
You can record yourself doing this, or even better, jump into English-speaking communities, Discord servers, Reddit's English Learning, and actually experiment with role play in a supportive environment.
Okay, putting yourself in character. Cool. And strategy 3, you called this a game changer.
Yeah, I think this one is really powerful. Strategy 3, reverse engineering native content. Take any piece of authentic native content, maybe a thought-provoking post on LinkedIn, a catchy song lyric, a memorable movie quote, and break it down. Don't just understand what it says. Figure out why the grammar works the way it does. What effect does it create? Then recreate it with your own spin.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Take Taylor Swift's line, "I don't know how it gets better than this." Analyze it. Don't. First person singular, present tense contraction. Why does that feel so immediate and natural there? Then rewrite it using the same structure, but your own content. I don't know how it gets cooler than this, or I don't know how it gets more challenging than this.
Right.
You could apply this to news headlines, scientific abstracts from reputable sources, anything really, to absorb different styles.
That concept of breaking down and rebuilding, reverse engineering,
Yeah.
that sounds incredibly powerful for internalizing structures. Okay, now we know the word exercises can sometimes, bring back bad memories of school, homework vibes, but your sources provided 3 interactive grammar exercises designed to be genuinely fun, engaging, and super practical, moving beyond those traditional drills.
That's absolutely the goal. Make practice feel like play, not work.
So what's the first fun exercise?
Exercise 1, the grammar scavenger hunt. This is highly interactive and uses content you already enjoy. Pick any piece of English media, an episode of The Office, maybe a compelling documentary, a YouTube vlog you follow. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find, say, 5 examples of a specific grammar structure you're working on. Maybe it's the present perfect, I've just finished. Or modals. You should try this. Write down the examples you find, like Dwight has just pranked Jim. Then, the crucial step. Create your own sentences using that exact same structure. You could even share your finds online with a specific hashtag. Connect with others doing the same hunt.
I love that. Turning watching TV into active learning. Okay, exercise 2.
Exercise 2, the sentence remix challenge. This one really taps into creativity. Take an interesting sentence you find somewhere, a book, a movie, an online article. Example, she was too tired to cook. Now, your challenge is to remix it, let's say 3 different ways. Keep the core grammar structure, 2 adjective to verb, but completely change the content. So, she was too tired to cook could become he was too busy to call, or they were too excited to sleep.
Ah, I see. Practicing the pattern with new vocabulary.
Exactly. Try it with a famous movie quote, maybe from The Avengers, "I'm always angry." That could become, "I'm always curious," or "she's always helpful." Post your remixes online, maybe on a language forum, get some feedback from peers.
Fun. Okay, and the third exercise.
Exercise 3, the grammar journal swap. This introduces a nice social and feedback element. Start keeping a grammar journal. Write a short entry daily, maybe about something fun in your hobby, a recent trip, what you had for lunch. The twist is then swapping entries with a language learning friend or study buddy. Or, if you prefer, post them anonymously on platforms like Reddit's English Learning for feedback from a wider community.
Getting real eyes on your writing.
Precisely. And again, tools like Grammarly or Pro Writing Aid can be really helpful here too. Not just for spotting errors, but because they often explain the why behind the correction. They kind of act as your friendly, always available grammar coach.
These sound much more engaging than textbook drills. Now, what's truly fascinating, and you touched on this earlier, is how your sources emphasize that grammar isn't just this static set of rules. It's profoundly shaped by culture, by context, even by our attitude. It's, well, alive.
It absolutely is. And understanding these cultural insights can really elevate your grammar, moving it from just being technically correct to being genuinely natural and nuanced in different situations.
So what's the first cultural insight?
Insight 1. Context shapes grammar. This is huge in English-speaking cultures. Formality dramatically impacts grammar choices. In really casual settings, texting friends, posting informally online contractions like I'm, can't, gonna, aren't just common, they're often expected. Using the full form might sound stiff.
Right, I am gonna go. Sounds very different from I'm gonna go.
Totally different vibe. But then, in formal emails, academic papers, or professional presentations, you'll naturally shift. You'll likely opt for the full forms. I am cannot, going to.
Mm.
A great way to practice this is consciously writing two versions of the same basic message. One for a close friend. Hey, I'm super stoked about the party tonight. Can't wait.
Yeah.
And one for, say, a potential employer or client. Dear Miss Smith, I am very excited about the upcoming event and look forward to attending. Just notice how the grammatical choices subtly shift the entire tone.
That's a great exercise in code switching. Okay, insight 2.
Insight 2. Humor and playfulness in grammar. Native speakers do this all the time. They frequently bend or even technically break grammar rules for humor, for emphasis, or for cultural resonance. Think of iconic, though grammatically non-standard, phrases like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Instantly recognizable.
Right. While technically incorrect by strict prescriptive rules, it's culturally impactful and instantly understood. Now, this isn't about learners just throwing rules out the window. It's about understanding when and how native speakers creatively manipulate grammar, usually in very informal contexts. You could experiment with this in safe spaces, maybe rewriting a funny informal phrase using strict grammar and seeing how it loses its punch, or vice versa. Share it with language buddies.
Recognizing that rules can be flexible for effect. Got it. And the third insight.
Insight 3. Regional grammar flavors. This is important too. English grammar isn't monolithic. It varies slightly across different regions. For instance, in British English, you might commonly hear someone say, I've just had lunch. Whereas in American English, it's much more common to hear, I just ate lunch.
Both perfectly correct, just different preferences.
Exactly. Neither is wrong, but they carry a distinct regional vibe. The simple past is often preferred in AME for recent completed actions, where BRE might use present perfect. A fun way to tune into this is watching shows from different English-speaking regions. Maybe the Great British Bake Off for British English nuances versus Brooklyn Nine-Nine for American Englishisms. Spot these differences, maybe even try mimicking them sometimes. It expands your stylistic range and helps you recognize, not judge, these variations.
Becoming aware of the diversity within English itself. That's key. Okay, so mastering grammar naturally, as we've discussed, it's definitely a journey, not a sprint. And motivation can, ebb and flow along the way. So what practical tips did your sources offer to help listeners keep their spirits high and their learning consistent over the long haul?
Yeah, sustaining motivation is absolutely key because progress isn't always linear.
Right. Some days feel great, others less so.
Exactly. So tip 1, celebrate small wins. Seriously, acknowledge them. Every time you correctly use a new grammar structure you've been working on, or even just notice it being used correctly in something you read or hear, consciously give yourself credit. Maybe you successfully used I've just finished instead of your old habit, I just finished. That's a win. Write it down in your journal, maybe share it on an online community, using a hashtag like #GrammarWin. These micro-celebrations really do build momentum.
Focusing on progress, not perfection. Good one. Tip 2.
Tip 2, create a grammar playlist. This is about surrounding yourself with enjoyable input. Curate a personal playlist. It could be English songs whose lyrics you admire, podcasts like The Illusionist that explore fascinating language quirks, or even specific YouTube videos from creators whose speaking style you find clear or engaging. Listen regularly, not just passively for content, but actively tuning your ear to the natural rhythms, the flow, the grammatical constructions being used.
Making passive listening more active again. Okay, tip 3.
Tip 3, find a grammar buddy. Learning is often more effective and definitely more fun when it's social. Connect with another learner, maybe through an online forum, a language exchange app, maybe someone you know locally. You can share tips, swap those grammar journal entries we talked about, maybe even do short role-play conversations, practicing specific structures. Just having someone to share the journey with, the struggles and the successes, can make a huge difference to staying motivated.
Accountability and shared experience. Makes sense. And the last tip.
Tip 4, visualize your goal. This is about remembering your why. Why are you putting in this effort to master grammar? Is it to nail that dream job interview in English? Is it to write really engaging professional content for your blog or LinkedIn? Maybe it's just to chat more confidently and clearly with friends from different parts of a globally connected world. Regularly take a moment to picture yourself succeeding. Actually visualize delivering that flawless presentation, getting positive comments on a witty post, or having a smooth, easy conversation. You could even write a short note to yourself about your goal or post it briefly online. Keep that ultimate purpose front and center, especially when things feel tough.
Keeping your eyes on the prize. Great advice. No, even for advanced learners, roadblocks inevitably appear. Plateaus happen. The sources you gathered also identified some common challenges and offered powerful strategies for troubleshooting them. What did they suggest for those moments when grammar just feels overwhelming? Or maybe you know the rule, but you just can't seem to apply it in real-time conversation?
Yeah, these challenges are incredibly common, even for very proficient learners. But the good news is the sources provide some clear paths forward.
Okay, let's tackle the first one. Grammar just feels overwhelming. Too many rules.
Right. If you feel like you're drowning in a sea of complex rules, the consistent advice was to simplify by focusing on patterns instead of individual rules. Don't try to memorize every single permutation of, say, the present perfect continuous tense. Instead, just notice the recurring pattern. I've been studying, you've been working, they've been waiting. See, subject plus have a has plus been plus ing verb. Commit to practicing just one core pattern like that for a whole week. This reduces the cognitive load significantly and helps build that intuitive recognition of the structure.
Focus on the big patterns, not tiny details. Got it. What about the second challenge? Forgetting grammar in real time. You know it, but it vanishes when you speak.
The performance anxiety issue. This is often less about knowledge and more about confidence and processing speed under pressure. If you know the rules but tend to blank during actual conversations, a great technique is to practice grammar scripts for common situations. Now, this doesn't mean rigidly memorizing entire dialogues. That sounds robotic. It means memorizing a few key phrases that buy you time and sound natural while you formulate your thoughts using correct grammar. Things like, let me think about that for a second, or could you please repeat that, or that's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but I think. These phrases act as conversational fillers, buying you a crucial moment to access the grammar, without sounding hesitant or unsure.
Using strategic phrases to buy processing time. Clever.
Okay, and the third challenge, plateauing progress, feeling stuck. Yeah, that feeling that you're just not improving anymore. It happens to everyone. When you feel stuck, it's usually a sign that you need to mix things up. Change your routine. The sources strongly suggested trying a completely new medium. If you're always writing journal entries, maybe try writing a short fictional story instead. Or try exposing yourself to a different accent. If you've been heavily focused on American English, maybe dive into some podcasts like ABC Conversations to get exposure to Australian English patterns and vocabulary. Variety stimulates the brain.
Shake things up.
Exactly. And another really powerful tip for plateaus. Go back and revisit your mistake journal from earlier in your journey. You'll likely be amazed at how far you've actually come. Seeing that progress can be incredibly motivating. Plus, it might highlight any old errors that have started creeping back in, allowing you to do some targeted reinforcement.
Looking back to move forward, great strategies. Okay, to really fuel this ongoing journey and provide continuous inspiration, your sources provided a fantastic expanded toolkit of resources. These seem to go beyond the obvious choices and offer really diverse approaches to natural grammar mastery.
Yeah, this is a really rich list, definitely worth exploring for continuous learning and different perspectives.
Let's hear some highlights. What about books?
Okay, for books, beyond the standard grammar guides, you've got things like Eats, Shoots, and Leaves by Lynn Truss, wonderfully witty insights into punctuation, The Elements of Style by Strunk and White, a classic for concise, clear writing principles, Woe Is I by Patricia T. O'Connor, that's a more modern, engaging guide, Dreyer's English by Benjamin Dreyer offers sharp, witty advice from a copy chief. There's also Grammar for a Full Life by Lawrence Weinstein, which takes a more holistic approach, and The Blue Book of Grammar and Punctuation by Lester Kaufman, a really practical, comprehensive reference.
A great mix of styles there. What about online resources, websites?
Online, websites like the Purdue OWL Online Writing Lab are incredibly detailed and reliable guides. Grammar Girl has a website with quick, bite-sized tips that are really popular. Cambridge English offers excellent free quizzes to test yourself. EnglishClub.com has lots of interactive exercises. Using English.com is a solid resource. It's especially focused on ESL learners, and PerfectEnglishGrammar.com is known for really clear explanations of various rules.
Lots to explore there. How about YouTube channels?
For YouTube, the sources mention channels like English Attic with Mr. Steve for conversational lessons. Grammar Girl also has a channel with visual short tips. English with Lucy offers a charming British flair and clear explanations. BBC Learning English provides well-structured lessons. Shaw English is known for slow, clear explanations, good for specific points. And channels like Vox often use compelling storytelling that implicitly demonstrates great grammar and language use.
Visual learning is powerful. And for listeners on the go, podcasts.
Absolutely. For podcasts, you could delve into The Illusionist, which explores fascinating language quirks and histories. Grammar Girl again, with those popular bite-sized audio lessons. Better at English features authentic, real conversations, great for listening practice. The BBC's 6-Minute Grammar offers quick daily boosts. Luke's English podcast is fantastic for conversational insights and British humor. And Speak English Now uses immersive scenarios to help you practice.
Something for everyone's commute. Finally, any apps recommended?
And yes, a range of apps to weave learning into daily life. Grammarly is huge, obviously, for real-time corrections and stylistic suggestions as you write. Duolingo can be useful even for advanced learners, using its gamified approach for quick review of tricky patterns or vocabulary. Quizlet is great for creating customized flashcard drills for specific rules or exceptions you're working on. LinkU focuses on extensive reading and listening practice within the app. And then you have language exchange apps like HelloTalk or Tandem, which connect you with native speakers for chatting and getting direct feedback.
Wow, that's a comprehensive toolkit. No excuses not to find something that works.
Exactly. What a deep dive we've had. We've journeyed through strategies for natural absorption, engaged with some really creative exercises, gained crucial cultural insights, and explored vital tips for staying motivated. The key takeaway, really, is that grammar isn't some rigid set of rules meant to constrain you. It's actually your most dynamic tool. It's for connection, for creativity, and ultimately for confidence in English. Keep immersing yourself, keep experimenting, and definitely celebrate every single step of this incredible journey.
So, thinking about all this, what does it really mean for you, the listener? Mastering grammar isn't about rigidly adhering to every single textbook rule. It's far more about unlocking your unique voice. It's about ensuring your true self, your ideas, your personality shine through in confident, clear, fluent English. So our challenge to you listening now is this. How will you leverage these insights? How will you truly own your linguistic expression, transforming grammar from something you saw as maybe a hurdle into an authentic, powerful part of your communication superpower?
Maybe pick just one strategy or exercise we talked about today. Something that resonated with you. Perhaps it's writing that short story, forcing you to use the past perfect. Or remixing a favorite movie quote. Or maybe it's simpler, just posting a fun update on an online platform, but consciously focusing on using one new grammatical structure correctly. Commit to trying just one thing this week.
We'd genuinely love to hear about your progress, or even just your thoughts. Drop a comment on your preferred social media platform, share your grammar wins using your relevant hashtag, or feel free to ask us a question. Keep exploring, keep speaking, keep writing, and keep shining in English. You've absolutely got this.